Hello and welcome to our latest installment of the Spartan Step Up. This web series is coordinated by the Alumni Association of Case Western Reserve University. I am TJ Shelton, the James C. Wyant Director of Athletics and Chair of Physical Education at CWRU. Today's episode will focus on the cornerstone of the university's campus, Adelbert Gym. We'll look at the facility history and also talk about the exciting renovations for the future. My first two guests know the facility very, very well. Please welcome women's basketball coach Jennifer Reimer.
Hi there. Thanks, TJ.
And men's basketball coach Todd McGinnis.
Thanks for having us, TJ.
Also joining us via Zoom is Arnold Huffman, the 1993 CWRU graduate, former men's basketball player, and chair of the Adelbert Gym campaign. Welcome, Arnold.
DJ, thanks.
Great. Before I speak to our guests, I thought it would be great to provide some of the gym's history. Adelbert Gym was constructed in 1919, and its original intent was to be used as the armory during World War I. The war ended before the armory became a reality. The play-in armory was now Adelbert Gym. How did it get its name? Simply geographic. The gym was named to the nearest street. It soon became a key athletic facility to Western Reserve. While the facility mainly serves as home to both men's and women's basketball programs, it also has been utilized for physical education classes, intramurals, book sales, and student dances. Adelbert Gym is also home to the award-winning National Youth Sports Program, which serves the youth in Cleveland in the summertime. Todd, you've been coaching here 7 years and obviously had a stint before that. You've had some amazing NCAA runs. What have attracted you back to CWRU and talk a little bit about your experience here?
Yeah, I think this is year 8 now, 7 with COVID, but it's been, last couple of years have been unreal. Got to play in Horsburgh Gym with a lot of people in the stands that, I think back to a couple of years ago, and Mitch Pendergrass, one of our better players in the last couple of years, said he would shoot a foul shot and he could hear the announcer speaking during the game, and to the fact that the gym's been packed and sold out and the students, have come out. And last Friday we had an incredible student section, and, it's just been the ride's been fun, the build-up's been great, and just working at a great institution. Like Jen said, our President Kaler's been incredible with the support. You've been incredible with the support. The student body has come out, and it's a great school, and we're living in Cleveland's great too. So just the the last couple of years, the runs, Arnold's been part of some of those, and I think this year we won in Atlanta for the first time in 15 years, and Arnold was able to see us win there for the first time in 15 years. So it's just been great. It's you don't want it to end. You want it to keep going and keep building to the future with playing in Adelbert. That's the goal.
Great. Touch on your senior class and kind of their legacy.
Yeah, we have a unique senior class with a couple grad guys and 3 four-year guys, and they've really been the foundation. A couple of them made massive plays, and we went to Sweet 16, started NCAA tournament games, and they've laid the foundation to get us to where we need to be. And then we were able to add a couple graduate guys that have kept us nationally ranked and at the top of the UAA. So the four-year guys you're indebted for, they went through COVID and didn't have a freshman year to playing in the Sweet 16 and winning the first UA in school history. So those guys will go down as probably the greatest class in our school history. Hopefully win a couple games here and get back to the NCAA tournament, and they'll be in the NCAA tournament every year they've competed.
Great. Excellent. Now let's go live to Arnold Huffman in Atlanta. Arnold, talk a little bit about your memories of your time as a basketball player.
Sounds good. Thanks, CJ. Yeah. I'd say it's really rooted in relationships that were built while I was on campus and through playing basketball. First and foremost, the guys I played with, there was 5 of us that played together for 4 years, and we're all still very closely connected even till today. We're on a text chain. We talk to each other quite a bit, quite frequently. We lived together when we were on campus, so there's a lot of good memories just from those relationships. The second set of relationships I would mention is the folks that we interacted with pretty consistently throughout, especially during the season, which was the facilities and the trainers. They helped us. They were taping Mike Gimpy ankles for every practice, and then the facilities guys, Vince Otto, who just retired after a long career at Forsberg, and then Hugh Marshall, who passed away. But I was fortunate enough, Coach Todd helped set up a chance for me to see him before he passed away. So, remember all those guys very fondly, Vince Otto and Hugh. And a third would be the coaches. We spent a lot of time with those guys, Coach Hall, Coach Ken Tiber, who also passed away, unfortunately. He's the one who recruited me. And then, of course, Coach Sudek, who is our fearless leader. So, some of the things that I remember from being around Coach, and there's lots of them, but just a couple to remember, to note would be being in our games, at our home games, his grandson, Danny, who now comes to Todd's games at Horsburgh, but he used to be about as tall as my knees at that point, and he would be in the huddle right in the mix with us during the game. So I would say we were probably one of the few universities that had someone like that, almost like our mascot at every home game. So it was great having Danny there. It's great to see Danny now when I go back to the games on campus. There's times when Coach would use change out of his pocket to draw plays on the floor rather than using the whiteboard or whatnot. So, he would yell at us and tell me I'm the penny, and look at Ronnie and tell him he's the dime. And then he would draw up a play with the change on the floor. So that happened a few times as well. He had lots of phrases he used, but one of the ones that sticks in my mind the most is that we're playing like we got a piano on our back when we weren't moving very well. So I can hear his unique pitch and tone of voice every time I say that. And then he had lots of side shenanigans he could do. So the ripping of the telephone book, tearing a full telephone book in half, not along the spine, but crossways, which you can imagine would be incredibly hard and would take tremendous strength to accomplish that. So he would do that frequently. And then on recruiting visits, he would be up in that second floor office and open the window and say to the kid if he made the shot from there, that he had to come to school there, and he would throw the ball and it'd bounce and go off the backboard and go in. We used to have side hoops back then. And so, there were just lots of memories of being around Coach and the things that he would do. And then moving forward to now, getting to spend time with Todd and Jen when they come to Atlanta, when I'm up in Cleveland, and being around them, and what great stewards they are for the students and the basketball program today.
Let's stay with the memory topic here and talk to Coach Reimer about some of your best memories in the Adelbert gym.
I think just the way that it's been set up for our throwback weekends have been really, really awesome. I know that our players, our alumni, still talk about their experiences on those weekends when we would set it up for our UA doubleheaders. One of the most amazing performances I've ever seen, Kara Hageman, who just graduated a few years ago, she broke what was at the time a single game scoring record against Wash U. She scored 43 points in one game in a Adelbert gym, and I believe it was the same weekend that we beat a nationally ranked Chicago team that next game. So that whole weekend was really special, but watching Kara that weekend was something I'll always remember.
Speaking of a special weekend, just recently you hosted alumni back to campus. So how was that, and the importance of really supporting your team?
Yeah, we're really fortunate that one of our most amazing alums is currently on staff as our assistant coach, Brooke Beecher. And so I think the coordination of her being here and us really working hard to collaborate with our alumni. We had over 20 women who came back to campus, and not only did they have the chance to get up and down the floor a little bit, which was a lot of fun, but connect with our current student athletes, our current team, and it was a really special weekend.
Oh, excellent, excellent. I think some of them sent an email that wanted to add their point total to their alumni. So moving forward, Todd, talk about your best memories in Adelbert gym.
Yeah, we haven't had many games in there since I've been back. We had a couple when I was the assistant, but as the head coach, I think the most valuable part's been being able to practice in there. So some good practice memories, being able to know that we don't have to practice at 8 o'clock at night or 6 a.m. in the morning, just being able to be in there and utilizing the facility the best we can.
One thing Arnold touched on was, the alumni support during this run. Touch on the importance of having, the guys come back and supporting the current team.
Yeah, Friday in NYU, we probably had 15 to 20 former players there, and it's great to see them. I know some of them, the text I get, some of the guys are upset when we lose, and I have to remind them, hey, 3 years ago we were happy to be 500 in the UA. So, but it's great, it's great to see them back. Then Sunday was great. Matt Canan was there. Matt had just given us a very nice gift for Adelbert Gym, and so he was able to come in with his son Ben after the game in Boston and talk to the guys and tell them about his journey, how he got to where he is. And then Alex Hildebrand, who played when I was the assistant here, was there, and he was able to come in and connect with our guys. And all our players are, I put out an email yesterday with the alumni's contact that were there, so they'll follow up with them and talk about jobs, talk about internships. But the support's been unreal. I think when we hosted Sweet 16, Arnold was able to get almost 50 to 75 guys. I don't even know what the count was back for the first NCAA tournament game in school history on campus. And, last year on the run, it's, guys are proud to be part of what we've built the last couple of years here.
Excellent. Arnold, can you talk to us about your service as chair of the Adelbert Gym campaign? How did you get involved in share, we'll talk through some of the renovations that, during the process.
It really started back in 2007, I think. I got an email from Coach Sean McDonald back then, and he was the head coach, and he started reaching out to the players. And so I got this email. I'd kind of been probably disconnected for maybe 10 years from the team and the university. And so when I got that, I think I replied to him and said, hey, start looking at the calendar. And I knew they would be down here to play against Emory. And so in 2008, set up to have the team over for dinner for the first time in 2008. And so that was when we were living in a much smaller house. And so we actually cleared out the garage, set up some tables, and hosted dinner in our garage with some space heaters because it was February. And even in Atlanta in February, it can be chilly. So I think we just made burgers. I think that's the first time I met Todd. Todd was there. He was an assistant, and he ate a burger real quick and dashed out to go do some recruiting on that trip. So that's kind of really where it started. I've been doing it since 2008, hosting the team for dinner. We've done a wide variety of things. When they've gotten in late, I've taken pizza to the hotel for them. They've come to the house. I've taken them out to dinner. And so we've mixed and matched it in a variety of ways, and just try to take care of the kids so they're not eating, Taco Bell or something coming into the big games. So that's been 15 years now. Like Todd said, we finally got our win at Emory. Coach Zimmerman over there does a nice job, and so he certainly makes it tough. But we were really excited to get that win this year here in Atlanta. But during that time, I got to know Gary. Gary reached out to me. Gary Pillar reached out, mentioned that the Adelbert project, and at that point, it was really just what do we do with it kind of situation. And so we needed to come up with some designs and some engineering renderings of what the future could be. And so that was the initial fundraising campaign that I worked with Gary on probably 7 years ago or so, I feel like, at least. And so we did that. We raised enough funds to get the initial renderings done and the engineering schematics and get a initial idea of what it could look like and how much it might cost. And so that happened a handful of years ago, like I said, and then from there it rolled into kind of sat on the shelf, and then of course COVID hit, and then certainly as Todd's pointed out, the success of the team as of late has really helped move things along in the way of getting this project started. So that's really how it got started. For me, the excitement about the new gym is about the fact that it's a dedicated facility for the hoops teams. Having that facility will go a long way in the sense of giving them somewhere to go shoot. I know a lot of the guys on the team now are really dedicated to their craft, getting up early, going into shooting before they go to class and things like that. So having a dedicated facility will really help move that along. Having it, as you saw in the images just there, the new locker room, new weight room for training, those would be great additions, and again, dedicated for the teams to use. The addition, as you saw in the first image there, kind of the additional facade that will be added there as the new foyer and entryway to the gym will provide a unique entrance to the facility, while also then giving us, a new seating, and at the end of the day, really keeping the internal essence of the gym as well. So holding that historical character, I think it will be one of the most unique facilities in not only in the UAA, but even in Division III. There's always been this race to build new and bigger, but I think our approach to renovating a historical space like this, and you can see in the image here with the ceiling and the character coming out, that it'll feel a lot like a new version of Hoosiers, if you will. So I think it'll be an awesome space. I think it'll be loud in there, and it'll be a real advantage for our teams when they play in there. The other thing I really like about it is that for years now, it's I think 55 years now we've been playing at Horsburgh, that this facility now will be right on Adelbert, right? And so it'd be very visible, it'd be accessible, and I think there's some really unique things we could do about that, or with that, in terms of promoting the teams and the games by being right there on Adelbert Street. So I think that's a nice switch from where we've been kind of hidden in the back corner there in Horsburgh. And then lastly, having a new facility like this, in especially the conference that we play in, the UAA, it's an arms race as far as talent goes. There's some really incredible teams in our conference. As of one point this year, there were 4 of our 8 teams on the men's side in basketball, all ranked nationally. So every weekend's a battle, and Todd's out there trying to recruit as best we can, and I know Jen's out there recruiting as best we can, and having upgraded facilities will certainly contribute to that, and I think that will also contribute to the students' experience on campus as well.
Arnold, thank you so much. I'm gonna go ahead back to the coaches, and Coach Rummer, talk a little bit about the mezzanine area. We'll also have a kind of a lounge area for students to study. Talk about the importance of having that right in the facility for students.
Sure. I think Arnold hit the nail on the head when he talked about people coming in before class to get shots up, and then finding that time in their day. What I love about our student athletes is that they want to be excellent in everything. And when you create spaces like this where they're able to be in the same space where they're getting work in on their game, then they can get ready real quick because this beautiful locker room is there for them. But then they can be in that space really efficient in their time management with studying, and then go be excellent in what they're doing academically. It is just such an amazing opportunity, and it's just such a great thing for them as students to have. And I think sometimes that gets lost in how awesome this is athletically, that it's just going to help them in lots of different ways in their life at Case Western Reserve.
Excellent. Appreciate that. Todd, one of the other features is the athletic training room, and also a workout room. Obviously, being an injured guy yourself in your career, what's the importance of having that for your student athletes to enhance their experience? Yeah,
the training room will be very much needed. I think about right now, just coming off this weekend, how many guys are beat up a little bit, and today with going into practice, how many guys will be in the athletic training room going into practice to get taped, to get iced, and just as convenience of being okay, I can get there right before practice instead of going down to the bottom in the basement and then getting upstairs, and now it's just right off the court, and then just being able to be right there. What was the other part of your question? Sorry.
Oh, you just touched on it.
Okay.
The workout room as well.
Yeah, and just having the weight room there, just to be able to get in there and get a lift in, especially with our schedules. We're under time restraint here. I always say, like, if Coach Reimer or myself said, hey, you're missing class, you're skipping that lab, we want to be the coaches here. So just being able to have, if we know we have a 2-hour time frame to get them in there for practice and be able to get a lift in and getting treatment, it's all going to be right there, all well right next to each other, connected, and we can get everything done a lot quicker and saying, all right, now we're going to a weight room, and now you're going to the athletic training room, and everything's right there, and it's all their own. It's be very helpful for our program and very helpful for the student athlete overall experience of time management. With everyone on here that's an alumni knows how hard sometimes these classes get here, and where as a coach that certain days they have a lot on their mind, and okay, we can get in and out and have everything right there. It'd be very helpful for the student athlete experience.
I'll tell our viewers, just before we went live, they both are in here talking about, what time practice was and utilizing the Adelbert gym in Horseburg so they could, maybe even practice at the same time to provide that opportunity. So, we're currently living in that moment as we go. So we will now take some questions submitted by our viewers when they registered. So Arnold, one of the viewers asked, when will Adelbert gym be ready for basketball games? And can you speak a little bit to the timeline?
Yeah, sure thing. Thanks, CJ. Yeah, so we had a little bit of delay kind of reworking some of the plans here over the last 6 months, but we're back and steaming ahead. And so as the dean, the head of facilities, said to me last week or 2 weeks ago when we had our last fundraising meeting, we have 10 months to pull the monies together. And so that'll accelerate our timeline from that perspective. But the good news about that is that keeps the overall project in line with the original timeline goal, which is to break ground by Q1 of next year and by Q1 of next year, and then be open by the season for 2026 for basketball, or in the fall of 2026. So what that really means is the kids that are freshmen on our teams right now will be seniors at that point, have an opportunity to play in this new facility. And I believe that in our conversations a couple of weeks ago as well, that that would also mark what would have been Coach Sudek's 100th birthday. So that will be a nice kind of coincidence or kind of merging of two histories there, of opening Adelbert and hopefully being able to do so in that time frame of honoring Coach Sudek.
Oh, thank you so much. Our next question is for the coaches. Viewers asked a little about the competitive nature of the UAA, and obviously, we feel like and believe, it's one of the best, athletic conferences and academic conferences in Division III. I would say coming from Division I, 1, 2, and 3. So talk about, utilizing this facility for recruiting and how you see, almost every weekend we're playing a ranked team or somebody that was just ranked. So talk about, Coach Reimer, how you utilize Adelbert to, enhance the program.
Sure. Well, I certainly think that all the pieces are in place. Obviously, the way that we're competing on a national level already, the support that we receive from President Kaler, from our entire administration, everything is there so that this can continue. It is really awesome to be able to talk to top women's basketball recruits, top students, about how successful they're going to be in their future, in their lives, but then to be able to show them where they will get to play and compete. That just is that extra layer that I think keeps us, and Todd had mentioned it earlier, keeps us just moving forward.
Right.
And it's awesome.
I think the recruitment of high quality student athletes, that will be the main thing that this will help with. Where you think about NYU, we just played there. They're in a beautiful new facility. Carnegie Mellon's building a beautiful new facility. And so, like, just being on par, like Arnold said earlier, like a little bit of arms race with facilities right now to say, hey, look where we play in. And, the support from the president down has been great. And, it's just a recruitment of high quality student athletes that will, hopefully this will help us attract maybe a guy or female player that we haven't been able to get in the past. And, not that the gym, is going to be the final say, but, it helps that when they come, they get to see something. Oh, this is a really neat facility, a really cool space. And, might say, oh, I want to play in there, and, that, an 18-year-old, can maybe help sway the decision. It's not going to make the decision, but, will help put us on par with what everyone else is showing off whenever they're there. And, so it's very important to help us maintain where we're at and to hopefully get a little bit further if that's possible.
Great. Arnold, a question for you. How can alumni, parents, friends of our, program help support this initiative moving forward?
Yeah, thanks, CJ. I think the first thing is just getting engaged, and that means getting out to some of the events as they come through your city or your town. I think you'd be pleasantly surprised at the skill and the talent and the level of competition that these kids are playing at these days in Division III. And so you won't be disappointed regardless of which sport you come see. But certainly, I know Jen and I would love to have as many people out to the basketball game specifically. And I think a lot of folks sometimes feel they might be the only one if they're coming out to one of these events. And I would say that that's no longer true, that a lot of folks do come to these different events and games in these different cities. I know, I even said this to one of the parents a couple of weeks ago when I was in town, that they've been inspirational to me in the effort that they put into being at these games for their kids these days. And so Ian Elam's dad and Luke Thornburg's parents, right, and both Ian's parents, being at these events, regardless of where they're at. And so they're traveling to these things. And so that's really inspiring to see those parents care that much and travel that much to support the team. So, I'd say first and foremost, get engaged, come out, and enjoy being a part of the events. The thing that backs that up then is once you're engaged, certainly we would look forward to any support and contribution to the gym efforts. And then lastly, if you know anybody that you can make a connection for us with that you think might be interested in supporting the gym initiative, well, certainly let us know as well.
Excellent. Thank you, Arnold. Speaking of our lead gift, I'd like to thank Britton and Fred DeSanto for just setting the tone and their support and providing that $5 million gift to kind of move this program and this facility forward. So I want to thank our viewers. I'd like to thank Coach Reimer, Coach McGinnis, and obviously Arnold for serving as chair and being a part of this program, Spartan Step Up. And stay tuned. There will be some information on the screen after that will show, how you can contribute to the program, a link, and then also obviously our athletic website will have information as well. So go Spartans.